Okay, guys. So I just want to introduce myself since a lot of you guys out there don't know me. My name is Ken McQueen. I'm currently 24 years old, and I'm a power lifter. Um, I've been doing this for well about a good 8 years now. My first powerlifting meet was in high school, actually, in roughly 2006. This is the only picture that I got of it. That's me in the middle holding an award for squat. Back then, I was a 330-pound super heavyweight lifter with a squat of about 600. Um, so that picture means a lot to me because shortly after that, I received a very devastating injury. I actually tore all the tendons and nerves in my left hand, and as you can see, I still am pretty scarred up. At that point in my life, they thought they were going to have to amputate my hand due to a staph infection. However, through nothing short of a miracle, they were able to do a complete tendon repair and save my left hand. However, they told me that I would never be able to pick up anything heavier than 5 pounds. And I spent about a year and a half after that in physical therapy. While my hand healed up, some things happened. I got really depressed, really emotional, kind of withdrawn, and I quit training. I quit playing football. I quit lifting weights. I quit doing everything that made me who I was. And I found myself at 468 pounds. So, with that being said, I was not capable of doing much. And again, I wound up in the hospital. This time I wound up in the hospital due to my weight. The physician at that time gave me three essential options: don't change anything and not live to see my 30th birthday, or have surgeries, go through a lot of painful things, but still not be healthy. Or my third option, change everything. So at that point, I did. I actually got online on Craigslist and took my Xbox and traded it for a treadmill because that's what you do to lose weight, or at least that's what I thought. You get on a treadmill and you run. But at that point in my life, let's just be honest, I wasn't running anywhere. So I sat there and I thought, well, what do I know how to do? It's like, well, I kind of know how to bench, I kind of know how to squat, and I kind of know how to deadlift. So that's what I did. I started powerlifting again, but let's be honest, I really wasn't squatting to parallel, and my deadlift was with straps, a belt, everything that I could imagine, and my bench press, well, it never really paused and it never touched my chest, but somehow I was able to see some results. So I guess it does go to show that consistency is the most important thing in any workout training program or whatever you want to call it. I actually got down to 198 pounds. I still wasn't very strong, and I wasn't entirely healthy. But what really got me is I went to the gym one day and there was a 55-pound dumbbell, and it was in the way. And I was like, okay, I'll move it. No big deal. So I reached down and grabbed this dumbbell, lifted it up, and thought, wow, that was heavy. And that's only 55 pounds. And that bothered me because there was a time in my life where, I was getting awards for being strong, and here I was just kind of a shell. So then I started scouring the internet and figuring out how to train. And at that point, I found 531. It's pretty much where most powerlifters start out unless you have somebody to help train you and coach you along. And what I did with that is I was actually able to get to roughly 240 pounds at that point. I competed in an SLP meet, which was Sunlight Power Federation. I had a 450 bench at that time, around 650 to 700 pound deadlift, and my squat varied quite a bit, depending on what you would consider depth. But I actually found myself featured in Powerlifting USA magazine, as a power person. I'm not really sure how I wound up in there, but I did. And so I guess that was my 15 minutes of powerlifting fame. So, again, I started training, and then I decided that I wanted to compete on a larger scale. So I started looking into the SPF Federation, the Southern Powerlifting Federation, which I currently consider myself a member of. Right before I was planning my first SPF meet in the junior class at 275 weight, I received another halt in life. I was diagnosed with a tumor in my right leg. So, with that being said, I was rushed to emergency surgery and had a 3x3 inch portion of my right quad removed. The physicians and surgeons allowed it to heal as what they call an open wound, meaning no stitches, etc. They told me that it would be a year before I could walk again on my own, even with crutches or some device. They also said that I would never be able to support much more than a normal body weight. So I could expect to never deadlift or squat again. But I could still probably bench. Well, that didn't set well with me because if you guys remember, I told you about that time I tore my hand and sat around for a year. This time I was going to do something a little bit different. I fought. I struggled. I was not an easy patient to deal with. I refused pretty much every medication. I refused pretty much any piece of physical therapy that they offered at that time. And long story short, I ignored the doctor's orders. I started walking with a walker about day 3. At day 7, I was actually walking with a single crutch. And about 2 weeks, I was actually walking on my own. Not very fast, but I was able to do it. And after seeing that progress, the surgeons decided that extended physical therapy was not a necessary option for me. So, with that being said, I'd already proven them again that they were wrong, that I can still function. So, I started training again. I wouldn't suggest that for everybody, and I had to be very careful. I could only train my back, arms, shoulders. Couldn't train legs as much as I wanted to, so I was fairly limited. However, 1 year and 2 days from my actual surgery, I competed in a sanctioned SPF powerlifting meet in Georgetown, Kentucky. At that point, I was able to lock out a 500-pound raw bench, a 720-pound deadlift, and a very terrible 550-pound squat. So, the squat wasn't there, but everything else kind of fell into place, which left me with a 1770 total in my first meet, which at those standards for the junior class was considered elite. So that goes to show you that, almost anything is possible. So I left with some stride in my step, and I really started pushing and really tried to promote myself on a small scale and, chased dreams that I still haven't seen fulfilled yet, but that's okay. They will happen. So, with that being said, here I am with this brand new, fresh 1770 total, being introduced to some really great guys. The guys down at Iron Mafia. I actually got to meet Brandon Lilly once, so that was really cool too. I've also met Kurt Dennis Jr., and I consider him more than just a friend now. He's family. I've met a guy named Justin Bethune. I've met all kinds of great and wonderful lifters. I even got to train with Adam Myers for a little while in between that time. So what I'm getting at is I've met a lot of great people, and I've learned a whole lot in a very short time. So there I was preparing for my next meet. I kind of at that point thought, well, squat's not going to get any better, so let's just keep it as it is. But deadlift, deadlift is something that I can get better at, and bench, oh man. I'm hitting 5 now. Imagine what I could do with some more training. So I put squat to the side. I still train squat once or twice, a month. And I was really hitting a lot of bench and a lot of deadlift because I thought I could just do push-pull. So let's fast forward about about a good 6 months from that point, which leads us till roughly December of 2013. Well, I was showing off. Let's just put it that way. I was trying to help my mom move, and being arrogant, I grabbed a dryer, a clothes dryer, and I hoisted it up and carried it outside and tried to put it in the back of the moving van. I don't know exactly how it happened, but I slipped and ruptured the distal tendon in my right arm and damaged the one in my left. So, they said I'd never be able to supinate again, and as of now, that was probably about 3 months ago, give or take. I elected for a non-surgical option and have been pushing myself to get stronger and heal up. Since that time, I've actually re-hit a 500-pound bench press raw. I have actually increased my deadlift by 5 pounds, which I'm now up to 725, and I have actually been able to increase my squat up to 635 pounds as of this evening, which leads me to 100 and, well, let's see, about an 85-pound increase, so almost a 100-pound increase on squat alone. So I've definitely seen some improvement, and I've been blessed to be able to do things that I've constantly been told that I shouldn't. And I'm not sending this video out there to, say, hey, look at me, I'm awesome, I'm great, because I'm not. I'm really no different than anybody out there in this world, but I do hope that this reaches the people who said, you can't. The people who, are nervous, the people who are scared of weight, the people who are afraid to fail, because at the end of the day, you're going to have 100 voices that says you can't, but you're going to have one voice that says you can. And I truly urge all of you to listen to that, because you can. It may not be up to someone else's standards, but that's why we try to set our own. So, with that all being said, and, this is my first video, so I'm not very good at this yet, and I hope to make a few more about training and life and, just different things on mine, because I find that this helps me. So, to summarize, I appreciate you guys watching. Please share this with anyone that you think it may need to reach, and just, instead of hating on someone, just send some love. So, with all that being said, thanks guys, and I hope you continue to watch.